July 31st, 2014, and the MLB trade deadline, and we have another big, huge trade. Is the Tampa Bay Rays have traded David Price to the Detroit Tigers in a three-way trade that also involves the Seattle Mariners. Austin Jackson from the Detroit Tigers is going to be going to Seattle, and Drew Smyly is going to be going to Tampa, and he's also a Tiger. And then from the Mariners are sending Nick Franklin to Tampa, and then David Price is going to the Tigers. Those are the details we have so far. There's more details that'll be coming soon, but this is a blockbuster deal. Just happened just moments before the trade deadline expired at 4 o'clock. And as it was, while the trade was being made, both Drew Smyly and Austin Jackson were out on the field playing for the Tigers. So it was a trade that was made at the last moments of the trade deadline, as Lester was no longer available. He went to Oakland, and then David Price became, without a doubt, the number one pitcher out there. Even though teams had backed up off of him, it looked like maybe Tampa wouldn't trade him because they had been so hot lately. They've been one of the hottest teams in baseball, but even still, as hot as they've been over the last 10 games, they're still 8 games out of first place in the AL East, whereas the Detroit Tigers have a 5-game lead in the AL Central as they're in first place in their division, and the Seattle Mariners are actually 11 games out of first place out in the West. So David Price is going to Detroit, so the Tigers add to their rotation, which was already one of the best rotations in baseball, but now they add to that rotation David Price, one of the best left-handed pitchers out there, along with John Lester is also one of the best lefties. David Price, John Lester, who's the best? That's an argument. But David Price is definitely one of the top lefties in baseball. Now he's going to be in a rotation that includes Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer, both of who have won Cy Youngs. Scherzer won the Cy Young last year, and David Price has also won a Cy Young in the past. And now the Tigers are going to have one of the most lethal pitching rotations in baseball history. It's virtually unheard of having 3 Cy Young pitchers, 3 aces at the top of that rotation. So the Tigers make a huge move. Of course, Austin Jackson, their center fielder. It's a shame to lose him, but if you want to get a big player, you got to give up some talent. And so Austin Jackson is going to be going to the Mariners, and the Mariners send Nick Franklin to Tampa, and the Tigers are also sending Drew Smyly. So the Rays get a pitcher and an outfielder, the Mariners get an outfielder, and the Tigers get a pitcher. I'm sure there's probably some other details, as in possibly cash or draft picks or even prospects from the minor leagues, but those details have not yet been divulged. As soon as they are, try to get that out to you. But as we stand right now, the ace of the Tampa Bay Rays is going to Detroit, and Austin Jackson is going to Seattle. Drew Smyly and Nick Franklin are going to Tampa.